one side, of course, not involved in international rugby next weekend is Wales. But we were down in Wales with our cameras for the club match between Pontypool and Pontypridd. Particular significance there, of course, the new captain of Wales was in Pontypool colours. We joined the match 10 minutes into the first half with Pontypool playing from left to right, and the commentator there was David Parry-Jones.
It has to be said that the top of the pitch here is very greasy indeed and squelchy. And the day for safe rather than daring handling. Jeff Squire not quite able to get hold of that ball for Pontypool, and that's Mike Edwards looking for a break and still running. A grub kick for Cartwright to chase. It beats him to touch. Andy Cartwright, one of Pontypridd's youngsters, just 20, and the winner of a youth cap or two a couple of years back. Trevett and on the right Squire at a line out just inside the Pontypool 22, thrown to Hodgkinson by Shellard. Hodgkinson in big trouble from the Pontypool back row, and number 2 Steve Jones was there as well. Difficult pass for Faulkner. He receives from Rogers. Pontypool not playing yet at all with any authority or decisiveness, giving ground inside their 22. Steve Cannon puts the ball into a scrummage just inside Pontypool's 22 line. Thinks about a break, looks inside for support, only finds David Bishop setting up a counter-attack with this long pass to Kevin Trevett. The chip as far as halfway for Goff Davies to chase. He's winning the race against Cartwright. Now Cartwright's in the lead, and he'll be able to play it to the safety of touch. So for the first time, the crowd has something really to applaud. David Bishop setting up that splendid counter-attack for Pontypool, carried on by Trevett and this man, Goff Davies. So for the first time, Eddie Butler and his team have a toehold inside Pontypridd's 22. Perkins wins ball for them at the front. Butler is around to knit them all together, to suck in the Pontypridd back row. Squire, number 6, is there, so is number 3, Windsor, and he could be there for a try. It's awarded. Finally scored by Goldsworthy. Bishop, rather, was the try scorer. That's his 23rd of the season. And he thanks Bobby Windsor for laying on the scoring pass. Skillful work by Perkins, and then watch how Pontypool pull in the cover and knit their pack into a tight ball of power. When they break out, Windsor is clear, and he has Bishop on his elbow to cross gratefully for a try. Wearing number 15, though, with this place kick for Pontypool, not Peter Lewis, their usual fullback, but Paul Crabtree. And Peter Lewis would have been delighted himself with that kick. Crabtree converts the try by Bishop, and Pontypool are 6-0 up. 20 minutes into the first half, a line out on the 10-metre line of Pontypridd. Pontypool's lead 6-0. Goldsworthy chased by Carl Groves, the Pontypridd number 8, forced to kick, and Cartwright's speculative up and under fades away to touch. 11, Pontypridd, left wing, Andy Cartwright. There are a lot of men in this Pontypool pack who are due to take part in the Welsh selectors' trials next Saturday, including Jeff Squire. Others are Steve Jones is a reserve. Perkins will be there.
So, of course, will Eddie Butler. That's easy for Cartwright. This time he keeps his Gary Owen infield, and Goff Davies does very well to take bravely under Cartwright's challenge.
Neil Wilding's there very quickly for Pontypridd. The ball reaches Rhys Lewis, and he's held by Trevett, and it turned out the Pontypool midfield had been offside. They're penalised. They were in front of the loose scrummage over here, close to touch. So they call up Brian Balderson to take a kick at goal. This will be his second from rather longer range than that from which he missed early in the game. This will be a kick of 37 metres. Brian Balderson then from nearly as far out as the 10-metre line. It just makes it. It just has the legs. Points for Pontypridd, kicked by Brian Balderson. It's 6-3 now. Interesting on the right, looking at the Pontypridd second row, Pempathy, and obscured by him, Tony Shepherd. And I would guess that Bob Pempathy might be almost exactly twice the age of his young partner. Pempathy 39, and Shepherd around about the 20 mark. Bishop waits behind Butler and puts in a kick for Rogers to chase. They almost caught Brian Balderson out of position. That could have led to a try, well conceived. But the Pontypridd fullback just read it soon enough. Dangerous moments again then for Pontypridd. Butler brings the ball down first of all. Bishop unselfishly sending it out to Goldsworthy, and Mr. Norling has no hesitation in awarding a drop goal. Quick thinking by Goldsworthy, and a smart low shot by him. Another quick look at the way the ball is brought down neatly at the line out. Bishop thinking about a run, perhaps it was tempting, there was space, but he feeds Goldsworthy, and 3 points via the boot is Pontypool's reward. 9-3 now. Brown mistiming his jump, and Hodgkinson and Shellard combining well close to the Pontypool 22. There's a knock-on. Shellard, a great forward these last 8 or 9 years for Pontypridd, number 6, being captain of the club, now serving them during difficult days when they're losing more often than they're winning. Well, that was impudence. One against the head for Pontypridd. Cannon steals away, gets as far as the 22 line of Pontypool. Pontypool kill the ball, they don't allow Pontypridd to ruck, and they are penalised. And the accusing finger pointing at Squire. So another penalty chance for Brian Balderson. And not a difficult position for an experienced place kicker like Balderson. Posts good tall ones with plenty of aim for the kickers. Most place kickers like tall posts like these to kick at and through. It's rather a greasy, muddy quarter of the field, this, and Balderson will do well to keep his footing. And he's done the place kick well. 3 more points for Pontypridd. Brian Balderson's second penalty. That's how it is then, as a result of that second penalty by the visitors. 9-6. That's one back for Steve Jones against Andy Witts. Faulkner with the ball for Pontypool. Stuart Rogers. Faulkner's looped neatly round him. Pontypridd cover is good though. Collins was over there, one of the flankers, and also Mike Owen proving himself a safe tackler, the Pontypridd right wing. Three minutes only of the first half left. Pontypool's lead 9 points to 6, which doesn't really reflect the superiority of their pack. Cannon's speculative kick up and under, landing for Brian Balderson very close to the Pontypridd posts. They do well. Mark Brown leading the Pontypool pack to the scene, making sure that Pontypridd don't escape. There could be points here for Pontypool if they can ruck the ball. Whistle just defeating them, but they will have to put in at the set piece. So, a tremendous attacking position again for Pontypool. Goff Davies in the foreground could attack the narrow side. David Bishop could have a go himself. It could be a pick-up by Butler, trying to put Bishop into space. Bishop's going to score again. Certainly the combination of this Pontypool back row and a dynamic running scrum half like Bishop is quite extraordinary. And the scrum half scores his second try of the game. All the options open to Pontypool at this set piece had us all wondering, including Pontypridd, what would happen. And then Butler is up. He plays Bishop into some space and needs a dummy and a sidestep to reach the line. Second try for the scrum half. Pontypool developing some pressure now, back on Pontypridd's 22 line, just a little way into that 22 area. It's with Brown, the tall flanker, at the back end of the Pontypool line. It's with Windsor, 3. Butler's got it now. Tremendous rolling ball, smashing its way towards the corner flag. Again, it's Steve Jones. And Windsor was back in the move. Squire seems to be there again. Mr. Norling watching like a hawk. And applause for tremendous power work by the Pontypool pack. And the sight of the Pontypridd forwards on the deck speaks volumes for itself, doesn't it? Takes a great deal out of you to resist a drive like that. So Pontypool now, having played themselves into a position where a try could be on, perhaps for number 9. Is he keen to get a hat-trick? The pickup is by Butler. He's got help from Squire. The try line, the goal line is very close at hand indeed. Another set piece, more pressure. Eddie Butler, the captain of Pontypool, that characteristic clasp of his hands over his head. And I wonder what the move is this time. Was that a signal? Are they going to let Bishop have it? No, the captain picks up, and they played Goff Davies into space, and he it is who takes the try. Goff Davies scores his 11th try of the season, and the 3rd of the afternoon for Pontypool. Now, the thing is at this set scrum is that Pontypridd perhaps ready for Butler to pick up, but perhaps they thought the danger man was Bishop, and they'd given Goff Davies a fatal metre or so space, and the wing makes no mistake at all. He's devastating at finishing. Paul Crabtree will seek to make it worth 6 points. It's doing well. The crowd thinks hopefully 2 points. Paul Crabtree, a very good conversion indeed. And Pontypool are up to a lead of 19 points to 6. Bishop puts the ball in. The strike is by Steve Jones. Bishop uses it again, plays it for Goff Davies to chase over the head of Cartwright, and Boulderson just gets it away to touch with a remarkable kick. That was a real test for the Pontypridd fullback. He just about came through it. Brian Fox is in the line now for Pontypridd, wearing 16, but he's probably arrived too late to replace the injured Tony Shepherd, too late to affect the way the forward struggle is going. In the background, the corner flag of Pontypridd. That's how desperate things are for the visitors, who trail by 19 points to 6. Butler taking it so easily. Goldsworthy nudged out of his follow-through a little bit late, and Mr. Norling not taking any action about it. Right under Pontypridd's post. David Bishop, a tempting position for him to score his hat-trick. Unselfishly, he moves it again to Crabtree, and Paul Crabtree scores Pontypool's 4th try. And yet again we saw that the value of a man like Bishop is that he draws the back row and the opposing defenders onto him and puts other men into space. Butler's dash, Bishop receives the ball, everybody thinks he's going to score, instead of which Crabtree appears at his shoulder and gets the touchdown. Put in infield by Stuart Rogers for Pontypool. Back quickly to the scene. The pass off the ground by Pontypool. And apparently there'd been a tackle. Jeff Squire doesn't agree, shakes his head. Butler must be pretty pleased with the way things have gone for Pontypool. 4 good tries have cheered the home crowd. Mark Brown brings the ball down well for Pontypool. Back to Squire from linking Bishop. Bobby Windsor takes up the running, finds Bishop again, who really is everywhere today. Goldsworthy starts running. He's got Rogers on his left. Can he draw the man, or will he go through the gap? Got to give it to Rogers. Awkward pass for the wing to take. Near miss by Pontypool, nearly the 5th try. The goal line of Pontypridd is right across our view. Steve Cannon puts the ball in, goes behind that sorely pressed pack. There's nothing much he can do. It could be a try. Mr. Norling won't see it because he's on his back. Well, the new year has begun badly for referees. We saw Ken Rowlands on his back last week, but even from his prone position, Clive Norling was able to award a try. Well, speculation that the try was scored by Mark Brown, and this is Paul Crabtree seeking to convert it. That's a fine kick. That's another 6 points to pull out. 29-6. That's the 22 line of Pontypridd yet again. David Bishop is 9. He waits behind Butler. A little chip for Stuart Rogers to chase and for Owen to gather, but he can't do anything about it. Shellard can't either. And there is a try there. Rogers' persistence wins him a try. And that's the 6th one scored by Pontypool. Up they go to 33-6 with a conversion attempt to come. Bishop's chip was meant for Rogers, and it looked as if Pontypridd had it covered. But there you see, first of all, Mike Owen can't get his hands on it. Shellard, one of Pontypridd's back row forwards, is there. He can't, and the persistent Rogers is rewarded for his enthusiasm. Crabtree slots yet another conversion. That's Paul Crabtree's 4th conversion of the afternoon. He's been in good place-kicking form.
Well, a great morale booster there for the new year for Eddie Butler, leading Pontypool to 35 points to 6 victory. Wales, of course, next weekend have their trial match, probables against the possibles. The probables side, the team that won for the Wales 15 against the Maoris. Gareth Davies still bidding to win back his place, and he's in the B side, the possibles. Well, we'll see what happens then. But, of course, more immediately, the Five Nations Championship takes place next weekend, opening with England against France, Scotland against Ireland. Highlights of both games, of course, on Rugby Special next Sunday. Until then, from a rather chilly Edinburgh, good afternoon to you all.